Hi everyone, this is Michelle with Purposeful Happiness again. It's been a while since I've brought another journal your way, but I have a fun one this week. It is a part of the Hagrid series, and it is a leather-bound book. And as you can see, it's been carried through the forest, it's been on travels, and this is the first series I've done where I am working on imagining a character's journal. So what you have is it's about 6.5 by 9 inches. It's 3 inches thick, and it is bound with thread, wax thread, leather pieces, and then 6 signatures. So what we have here is a wrap closure so that it can just be unwrapped and carried. That way this book can get as big or as small as it needs to be. I'll undo it here, and you just take off the wraps. If we take a closer look at the journal, you'll see that there are some wand strikes here, some ink spots. Of course, it's been scraped up by some animals, and Hagrid has collected things as he's gone on his travels. There are textures and textiles that come through the open binding. And of course, he's had some wand strikes that it's blocked, some maybe too close to the fire, a patch or two, and some more animal scrapes. And this book, if you get a look at it, has a lot of tabs and fabrics. And one of the interesting things about this journal is that it can lay flat. So it will open flat, and making it easier for you to access or to write inside of the journal, which is one of my favorite parts of it. There are a ton of charms and pieces included. So we will get right into it. It's a pretty large journal, so it might take a minute to go through. So the first part of this cover is we have, I imagine, a tooth, some fur that he's collected. And as we open the journal, of course, we have some hidden spaces because some of this needs to be kept secret. We have Dumbledore's army, and of course that's hidden, and it just tucks right back into this pocket. So there are a number of digital kits that have been purchased from Etsy, I downloaded, and other artists throughout. Pages range from 32 pounds to book pages to cardstock, so there's quite a variety inside of the book. So here we just have some more journaling pages and some stamps. Here's a border with a book page, and we have them going into Hogwarts. Each signature was meant to represent something. So this is the beginning intro into Hogwarts, and you'll see another digital kit. Some sari silk has been sewed on. A lot of sewing in this book. So here we have just a book page pocket. And of course, Hagrid would have some family members. We have a creature, Niffler, and some other ephemera. We know that Hagrid wrote to Professor Dumbledore that he had given Harry his letter and that they were on their way to get his school supplies. So that is in there as well. And if you remember, Hagrid is a teacher, so we have that. Here are our tickets. We have the night bus ticket. Then of course we have the Hogwarts platform 9 3/4 ticket. And all of it has journaling on the backside, and there's some gold inlay on the ticket. I'm not sure if you can see that. Some of the book pages are in here as well as actual pages. This one's one of my favorite. If you didn't know, Hagrid was a knitter, and in the book there's a reference to it that he was knitting on the train and that people stared more than ever on the train, and Hagrid took up 2 seats and sat knitting what looked like a canary yellow circus tent. So I've hand knitted just a swatch here to represent that. And if we keep going, we have more journaling pages, a book page with Hagrid on it. And we have some tea-dyed paper in here. And of course, we have a faculty list because we know Hagrid would have wanted to keep track of who was on the faculty for that year. It's more sewing and blank papers. And this is the other side of that book page. And of course, Christmas at Hogwarts with some flannel sewn in. And here is just a music page that extends with a tab from the book page. And here is another tab that's sewn in. There's 3 of those in the book. And it's meant to be worn and well-traveled and not perfect. And that's the look I was going for with this particular book. So that was the first signature. This is another fabric piece that's been inserted. This is a vintage fabric measuring tape, a German measuring tape that I ordered and have been looking for uses for it. So this looked perfect. Here is a page of Dumbledore. We have a traditional stick pin here, and on it is of course something that Hagrid would have collected along the way, just a bone, and this is just a straight pin, and it can be moved, and most of these elements can be taken out if you did not want these in here. That's usually how I work with the journals. So we have Moaning Myrtle, and this is on a transparency page which can be written on, erased, and reused. And you can't really have a book without the Howler. So underneath here, we see Ronald Weasley's Howler. And it is just under this page. Some more tea-dyed pages, digital print, and we have the Daily Prophet with notice that Hagrid is keeping quiet on the location of those unicorn twins. So that has been put into his journal. And here is a list of, or a pictorial depiction of the different Harry Potter houses. Those are fun. Some more tea-dyed paper. And here, of course, we have hidden in here the map. And we just tuck this in here. It's sewn on with a bit of cheesecloth that's been dyed and attached. There's a lot of sewing in this book. Just another journaling page with some watercolor. And if we keep going, we have some more tea-dyed pages. Here is the other side of that transparency. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware. And here we'll see a belly band and envelope to put things in. And you can tuck book pages, notes, whatever else you would want inside of here. So that is a little secret spot. Here is a waterfall envelope made from a book page and just opens up like this. And inside of here, Hagrid has kept some of his tickets. And so that's what you'll see here. And this is a stamp on a tissue paper and adhered. Here's the other side of that fabric. You can put pins in here, safety pins, enamel pins, any number of things. So this was one of the ideas that I decided this book needed, was a piece of fabric that hung out. There are a lot of people that like to collect these enamel pins that are out now, and I wanted just a place to be able to put those. And so that's what this is here. And so we just, it's keeping the signature closed as well. Not necessary, but there. So we'll just open it up and we have Hagrid's hut and his motorbike, some journaling spaces. This is just another piece of a Harry Potter fabric. Some tea-dyed pages in here. A little bit of netting with a safety pin, and then I have taken fabric and used alcohol ink and a stamp and drawn onto this piece of fabric. So any number of things can be added to this. The Daily Prophet. And then we just have a digi-print or a digi-stamp with some alcohol spray to create that page. Journaling space. So as full as it is with ephemera and pieces, and it's meant to be an interactive book, there's still quite a few empty pages to use. So this was really fun. This was the bookmark I decided to make for this particular journal, and it has keys and a lock. We know that Hagrid was or is the keeper of the keys, so that's why I decided on that. And it just slips right in to here, and we have that vintage fabric tape measure for the base. Another book page. As you can tell, there's a lot of pages in here, so it's a pretty hefty endeavor. Here are some journaling tags, and then again, just another journaling space. Dobby. And then just a collage added to the pocket. This one here has additional pockets in the envelope, so you can add something additional there. Of course, we have Sirius Black, and we have a note card here that can be used, made from cardstock. And we should just put it like this. There we go. And we have another book page. Escape from Azkaban, The Daily Prophet, Dobby. And here is just another journaling page, and it has a space to add some additional pieces too that will stick. So you just pop it in here and it'll hold. Another Daily Prophet. And we have the Hogwarts Express. Harry. Back side of the glasses. And just a lined journaling page. And we have Hagrid on his motorbike. And the other side of the hut. So then this would just, and there's strings everywhere. There's fabric. It's meant to be that way. Because I imagine as Hagrid was on his journeys and he was traveling around, he didn't have time to really make things as neat as they could be. So we have a plastic pocket in here that I found really useful for most of my journals. And it has a coin in it and both sides. And then we have a couple of checks for Gringotts. And this is just the book page of one of the chapters in the book. So we'll just put that coin back in here. Then on the back side, of course, we have a deposit slip for Gringotts. And we get into moving through Diagon Alley. And this is where we know Hagrid would keep all of his receipts and little notes to himself about what he's buying. His potion making page was just some stitching on it. Another book page. Quite a few pockets in here. Some of these have been embossed just to give it a little more shine. We have tickets and just a journaling card with a quibbler and this one. And we have some Honeydukes themed pages and of course a Honeydukes receipt that's also can be used as a note-taking space or pictures. And if we come back over, it's another pocket page and it has more receipts. And these just go right back in to the pockets like so. Some more alcohol stains. And we just have a tab. We come back over, we have the cauldron cakes with a little bit of eyelash trim and some journaling pieces here in ephemera. This is something fun. These are business cards from the businesses that Hagrid has frequented. And of course, there's the location on the back. These are in Hogsmeade, Village, and the back of the cards will tell you that. So those just go into this little Tim Holtz die cut, and I will put those back in later. Some more pages, and then we have the wands. And of course, Hagrid would carry paper pieces. Hagrid would carry Harry's letter because he gave him the letter. So inside of here we have the letter that he was charged with giving to Harry. Just put that right back in. And here we know that Harry went into Ollivander's and the wand selected him, right? So we have a receipt for Ollivander's. And if you pull this out, it is the book page of when the wand selected Harry. And then it just tucks right back into this corner piece here. Put that all back in. Another one of the tabs that's been sewn on. And a few more pieces. This is meant to be the color of Hagrid's umbrella. And then platform in 9 3/4, we have this tag here. This also is a little tuck spot where you can add something to it. Cardstock here. Here is another little spot to tuck it in. This is the butterbeer recipe. And we just have a sticker from the Wizarding World sticker book. And of course, we know we'd have the OWL examinations in Hagrid's book, some money, and then some more tickets from his travels. The other side of that book page, and some more sewn and stitched tea-dyed papers. Here is another journaling page, and it just has some cheesecloth and other pieces of fabric. And that is the end of that particular signature. So we know that Hagrid probably collected seeds, plants on his walks, animal for different things, for evidence of what was in the forest and what he wanted to look back at. Here's a Ministry of Magic visitor number. And again, just some more fabric here. This herbology sheet was embossed with a enchanted gold embossing powder, and I may have used half of it, but it was probably my favorite page in the book for this embossing powder, but it seemed appropriate for this. We also know that Hagrid may have been a little too close to some of the fire pits, and that's what you get here, some of the burned pages. And of course, he would keep notes on what's in his garden, what he needs to collect, and that's what this is. So this is a sandstone colored page, and it was dyed with making the sandstone into a powder and then dyeing the paper. So that is from Red Rocks. Some more book pages. Pockets, we know that he would have had slides and information on the plants that he was tracking. And this is just another note card, just tucked right in. Some digiprint and some sewing. Of course, Hagrid would have some seeds for a seed packet. And here we have a potion charm, and it is full and meant to be used at a later time by Hagrid. So we know that he was keeping something secret. Some more journaling cards from his plant specimens. Advanced potion making page. And this is just a leather scrap used and then an animal eye put on it. So we also know Hagrid grew pumpkins, so his book would obviously have some reference materials to his giant pumpkins that he had. Put that back in. Another book page. So here is the other side of that sandstone dyed page, and it opens up like this, and we have his Quidditch League tracking score sheet, and if you keep opening it, this folds in and out and is attached to this page with a little pocket. There are some stamps in here on tissue paper, and it just folds back up. Oh, we want to put that in here to keep it tucked in. And here's just a lightning bolt punch that was, I think this was put out in the early 2000s, and it's getting dull, but it worked for this page. Another floral herbology sheet. So here we have a book page, and it is talking about the keeper of the keys, and we know that's Hagrid. Here is the other tab, and these are just book pages that were blank, and they're just put on and extended. And as you can see, this is the other side of that enchanted golden embossing powder. And we have some parchment paper and fabric and pins on here. And we have a piece of hide. I don't think you can have a Hagrid journal without a piece of hide in it from his travels. So here we get to the creatures section, and we just have some fabric sewing. And here's another book page pocket. We have some feathers, Aragon, some quotes, Niffler, and the Niffler sewn on. And we have some embossing powder around the edges. And we have a book page with die cuts on it. And my friend Judy sent the die cuts for me to use, and they've been fun to use since I don't have these particular die cuts. So we have the pixie page here, tea-dyed, some more journaling spots. So as you can see, there's a lot of blank pages in this journal, and should be some inspiration as an interactive piece for writing. This is, of course, a list of spells that everybody would need. Here is Hogwarts, and then center of it, we have the creatures that Hagrid would have run into. Some more tea-dyed paper. Here we have another die cut, Dementors. That's what was on that page. The Dementors back there for the die cut. So this die cut is Hagrid, and just some Copic markers to outline him. And of course he would have a specimen slide, right? And some research papers on falcons and other birds in his journal. And we'll just put that back in. Here we have Hagrid's hut. Just a little image cut out in a book page pocket. And here we have some journaling pieces that can be inserted anywhere. We'll tuck that back in. And here we just have an owl, and we'll put back the feather that he would have collected on his journeys. So I also think that Hagrid would have had some jewels and some family heirlooms that he would carry with him just in case he needed something for bartering or for selling or whatever he needed. Some ephemera. And here we have just a paperclip holding in an envelope where he would have kept his notes, his field notes. So this is just a ticket that's been dyed and painted, and then stamps for the footprint. And just put that right back on. Another book page. And some more creatures. And we get to the end, and we obviously have a picture of Hagrid. This book is dedicated to his character. This little envelope has some more tickets in it. and a key tab. This picture frame can be, do it this way. You can take out the picture normally. Well, that's what I get. So this picture is not that hard to get out, but it was hard because I kept picking up the back piece of this pocket. Just tuck it back in. Well, is it because we're on camera? Very well could be. Let me put that back in. There we go. And this just goes in for additional pockets. And then the back page, we have some more embossing and a charm with the back piece of that hide. Hagrid's journal has his name stamped in. And that is the conclusion of this particular journal. I appreciate you looking. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you'd hit the like button and subscribe, it would be appreciated. Thank you.